So markets, as I've shown you, have welcomed the pause in the reciprocal tariffs, but we do now have a new baseline 10% duty that's likely to remain in place. And everyday consumers could soon begin to see the effect. So bear in mind, hang on a second, just bear with me while I get the Crestmeans Business shopping basket out. There we go. Now you're aware of this. This is a basket that we are following quite closely. We bought all sorts of common items that you're likely to buy: the olive oil, the rice, these toothbrushes made in China, toilet paper. There is the list, by the way, and we're going to be checking this list. It breaks down to food, clothing, electronics, and other essentials that we have. And you can see the prices. They're almost price sensitive. The produce takes time to grow. But these things can't be moved to the United States easily in many cases, like coffee. So Tom O'Brien is the founder and CEO of food importer Global Resources. Tom, you can't see me. I have a shopping basket of bananas, strawberries, coffee, and the like. We chose things that people are going to see, that people buy and will see quite soon and quite quickly. Things like bananas. When do you think, at the new rate of 10%, can importers like yourselves, pardon the pun, can you eat it?
Great pun. 10% is not much on cheap commodities like this. So we went through the first round of tariffs in Trump's first term, and a lot of those tariffs are shared, right? Well, we'll talk with our producer in Colombia or China. Hey, can you guys take some of this? We'll take some. And if we have to, a small increase to the customer. But food products coming from China at 125%, there's no way that anyone could eat that type of tariff increase.
But what are we looking at here? In terms, let's stick with foods for a moment. So it is the importer who pays it. So the importer who's got to, when the stuff comes off the boat, essentially, the importer pays it. And I assume then there's a haggling between everybody, as you just said, as to you cut your price to me, I'll cut my price to the next person, and so forth.
That's correct. I actually cut the check to pay the tariff. So if the product arrived today and those tariffs were still on before the announcement from 2 hours ago, I would be the one paying the tariff, and you hope you have good relationships to make sure they share that burden with you.
How difficult, you're just the chap I've been wanting to talk to, actually, because how difficult has it been just knowing what you have to pay? If the president says something in the morning and changes in the afternoon, and you've got something coming off a boat the next day, are CBP pretty good at saying, nope, the tariff is this, nope, here's your bill?
For stuff that's on the water, there's nothing you can do. You can't turn around the boat. You're one container of thousands. So in the short term, you're stuck with that price. In the long term, the original tariffs, Latin America was spared compared to Asia. So for us, in a long-term planning, we start looking to Latin America. What do they produce that Asia also produces, and try and buy from there? The second component, we're also exporters. So we hope long-term that everybody removes their tariffs. My business is 85% US. It's very difficult to get customers in other countries because of their tariff barriers. So in the short term, this is no doubt disruptive, but hopefully in the long term, we can get to an even playing field.
So it's interesting, and this China tariff of 125%, stuff on the water you're stuck with. But would you, if this tariff remains for any length of period, would you expect essentially all imports, unless absolutely vital, from China to dry up?
Yes and no. We don't have fixed assets, so we can buy from anywhere. The companies that do have fixed assets in China are going to be very tempted to re-originate their product. That means taking it to a third country. Now you say it comes from Vietnam, or maybe it comes from Malaysia, and you go into the US without the tariff. This is going to be very tempting, and I imagine lots of companies are going to get in trouble for doing this because it will be on the radar of US Customs Enforcement.
Overall, give me a gut sense of how difficult the last 3 months have been for you.
It is very disruptive. I told my team this morning that we work with our customers. We don't anticipate the tariffs being on long, except for China. It seems very clear that China is the goal and the rest of the country, the rest of the world is not.
I'm grateful to you, sir. Thank you for joining us. We'll talk more. I find it fascinating to understand the plumbing of world trade, if you will, because that's essentially what you're doing. You are keeping things moving, and I'm grateful that you've taken time to talk to us. Thank you, sir.